ask you guys a question. Do you know what Bill Gates said was his secret, the secret to his success? I'm going to give you 3 answers, and I want to know which one it truly is. What did Bill Gates, one of the world's richest men, said was the secret to his financial success? Well, answer number 1 is his ambition, drive, and motivation. You'd say you need all of that to be successful, don't you? Okay, all of us need that to be successful. How about having the smarts to give away his software for free? You realize that when Bill Gates started Microsoft, it was in a recession, kind of like what we're living through right now. And sometimes, don't you agree, you have to give it away in order to receive? You see, so Bill gave it away. That was ingenious. So we need to think like that a little bit. Now, that might be the answer. Or was it the design itself? See, he could have had 1 and 2, but if it was garbage, he wouldn't have went nowhere, right? So which one would you say is the true answer, the secret, or the key to Bill Gates' success? We got number 3, number 2. Any number 1s? All the above, right? We need all those 3. He needed all those 3, but you know what? It's a trick question, folks. It's actually none of the above. Bill Gates' answer was a working knowledge of the tax code. Isn't it surprising? That is not a sexy answer, right? The tax code, what is that about? You see, Bill Gates surrounded himself with people. What you're doing this morning is awesome. You know, I heard a young lady say, in order to be successful, you need to surround yourself with people who are successful. And that's what Bill Gates did. He didn't learn the tax code, but he really surrounded himself with people that could help him in that arena. So he's got people. You know that commercial that says, you got people, you ain't got no people. Okay? Bill Gates got people. And this is very important. And when we go through our presentation today, you'll understand why a working knowledge is extremely important to each and every one of us. Now, any of us employees in the room? A lot of us, we don't even want to admit it, right? Yeah, we're employees, we fall in that E quadrant. Now, you know, when I share this information with you, some of you are going to get really, really disgusted, but do you really know how much you're paying in taxes? Do you know that the first line of your pay stub is income, right? Good, bad, and indifferent, it is what it is. That's your income. Now, the second line, though, is federal taxes, and that can be up to 39%. That's your federal taxes. Now the second line, or the third line, is state taxes. I'm not sure what they are out here, but that could be up to 9.6%. We still talk about employees, folks. The fourth line, a little something called FICA. I remember when I first started working, I'm like, what is this FICA? Who is this taking all my money? You know, FICA is Social Security, and some of us, as I'm looking around in the room, we will never see it. But we're paying into it, aren't we? That could be up to another 15.3%. That's well over 50% up there, right? So you wonder, when we talk about building wealth, do you know anyone with a job who is rich? See, J-O-B means just over broke. And you could be making $15,000 a year or $150,000 a year. I mean, I have clients who make $250,000 a year working for someone, but they don't have $500 in the bank. They just have bigger bills, that's all. See, as employees, we have a lot of bills. We're going to share with you how to turn those bills into expenses. Now, the clue with the JOB is you got 1 line of income and at least 3 lines of deductions. That should have been our first clue, right? This whole JOB thing is really not working for me. How about business owners, though? What's the difference? See, as business owners, we have a few business owners in the room. How are we taxed? See, business owners, just like employees, we make money. The difference is we get all our money up front. See, our line 2, what most employees call bills, are expenses. See, we like to spend money. Spend money, and you call that expenses. What's left over is what you pay taxes on. Now, as a business owner, I'll tell you, my single goal is to make sure there ain't nothing left over for I'm saying. Okay? And we can do that legitimately, legally. Okay, as business owners, we spend money, and at the end, we pay taxes on what's left. Are you overpaying in your taxes, folks? The average annual savings for one person, a single individual, is $3,600 a year. just by having your own home-based business. $3,600 a year. Anybody could use an extra $300 a month in here? Okay. Average employee works 30 to 40 years. Did you know that if you put $3,000 a year away for 30 years, you have well over $500,000? Now let me ask you a question. Who do you know that's close to retirement who just got an extra $500,000 laying on the side? Anybody? Why not? Why not if it only took an extra $3,000 a year put away? But with your own home-based business, folks, you're going to get that in tax savings. That's money you didn't have. And now what you can do is take those savings and put it up for yourself. That number is actually close to, by the time, for most of us, it'd be close to $1 million if you would stack that $3,000 a year away. And you want to hear the sad story? The sad story is most people can't put their hands on an extra $1,000. The average person who's been working 10 years can't put their hands on $1,000. Now let me just kind of break that down, what that means. $1,000 with 10 years of work is about $100 a year. That breaks down to about $8 a month. Now if you've been working 10 years and you can't put your hands on $1,000 right now, I would venture to say whatever you're doing ain't working. Would you agree? Okay, so we're going to show you, we've already shown you a way that you can get an extra $3,000 per year. And that's if you're single. Folks, if you got some kids, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, you got a husband, we can save you even more than that. Or wives, for the gentlemen in here. Folks, here's what I'm here to tell you. If you don't have one today, you absolutely need a home-based business. Okay? You absolutely, positively need a home-based business. Because you go out there and get a part-time job, paying what? $7, $8, $9 an hour? By the time you earn that money and pay taxes on it and drive to and from and eat lunch and dinner late, it's nothing. Wouldn't you rather create an extra $300 of income in your house through some tax savings? We'll break that down a little bit more to you in just a few moments. Converting everyday living expenses into business expenses. What I love about my home-based business, you know I'm a traditional business owner, is that a lot of the things that I was doing anyway have now become a tax deduction in my home-based business. Now let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about my favorite pastime is travel. Now you know I left my home last Friday and I headed to the Dominican Republic. In case I was sun-kissed and y'all want to know why. I headed to the Dominican Republic, left there, went to Miami for a couple of days to hang out with some friends, left there, came to New Orleans, staying here till Monday, flying to St. Louis, staying there 2 days and heading home on Tuesday evening. Would you say I'm a travel enthusiast? A little bit. But do you know, my trip to the Dominican Republic is a tax deduction? Drinking Mai Tais on the beach, jet skiing, AV driving, all of that is a tax deduction, folks. You wanna know why? Because I have a home-based business that involves travel. See, so as a result, the travel, before I started my home-based business 3 years ago, I was traveling 3 times a year anyway. And so now what I've done is I've opened up a whole new tax deduction for myself through travel. What else, folks? Do we eat in here? Let me tell you, I had the best seafood of my life last night. I mean, I would agree that there's some good seafood places out there, but I was at Landry's last night. Shrimp fresca. That was the absolute best shrimp I had in my life. You know what made it even better? It was a tax deduction, y'all. See, if you're going to eat anyway, you might as well be writing it off on your taxes, don't you agree? See, as business owners, I'm here on business. I'm going to have me a good time in New Orleans. You best believe that, but I'm here on business. So everything I do from here till Monday is a tax deduction. You see, so if you're going to eat anyway, you have yourself a home-based business, you get to deduct it on your taxes. Entertainment, I'm going to be entertained at some point this weekend. That's a tax deduction. What else? I drive a vehicle, computers, laptops, equipment, home office, all these things that I'm listing, except for maybe the last 2, cell phone supplies. These are all things that, aren't you spending your money on that anyway? See, all these things, folks, you were going to pay for them anyway. You're here getting education. It's a tax deduction for you. Okay, so what we're going to share with you is you're not really going to do a whole do it. We're going to do it much, much smarter.